Part 281. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 2801. Chapter 2801. So what if you don't like it? Then she saw Zhang Xinyu, who had a cold face and was still looking at her with an evil look, suddenly changed his face, and a trace of surprise and panic flashed in his eyes. She had a great reaction to what Jiao Mian just said. Her eyes widened with shock as she looked at Jiao Mian in disbelief. This reaction made Jiao Mian know clearly that her guesses were probably true. Otherwise, Zhang Xinyu's reaction would not be so big. This reaction would only occur if she got it right. If she hasn't had plastic surgery. If she doesn't do it according to herself. These words from Jiao Mian were a humiliation to her, and her first reaction would definitely not be like this. This moment, Jiao Mian was also very surprised. If her guesses are true, then the true identity of Zhang Xinyu is very worthy of doubt. It was not a strange thing for someone to do plastic surgery for her. But Jiao Mian saw the shadow of Jiao Angzhen in this person, which made her unable to look at this matter with an ordinary mind. What are you talking about? After a moment of panic, Jiao Angzhen forced herself to remain calm. She denied, Jiao Mian, I respect you as a senior, so I will be polite to you. But this does not mean that you can do whatever you want. Humiliate me. What you just said is too much. Why do you say that I had plastic surgery? Why do you think that I had plastic surgery after you? Just because we look alike? Jiao Mian, are you too narcissistic? There are so many people who look alike in the world. Are they all based on others? At this moment, Jiao Angzhen was indeed panicked. She was afraid that she would be recognized by Jiao Mian. If she was recognized, Jiao Mian, a bitch, will definitely not be able to tolerate her. She has not yet found a strong backer and has no capital to compete with Jiao Mian. Jiao Mian's casual words can make all her efforts come to naught. Ms. Zhang, don't you think that others can't tell if a knife is used on her face? Jiao Mian continued to stimulate her with words, testing her. Some things are fake, even if they use some means. It looks real, but that doesn't mean it's real. There are indeed many people who look like you all over the world, but you are definitely not born like this. You did it after my plastic surgery. Do you think I, the right person, can see it? I have to say that the doctor who gave you plastic surgery, the technique is indeed better, and the makeup is quite natural. But you, a fake, don't know where you got the courage to come and be on the same show as me. Hey, looking at your face, I feel like I am. That's why I was humiliated. Jiao Mian, you've gone too far. Jiao Angzhen was really irritated and yelled angrily, who do you think you are? If you hadn't married Mo Yesi and had him supporting you, you would be nothing now. Besides this face, what else do you have? Jiao Mian saw that Jiao Angzhen was so angry that her face turned blue, and her attitude became more and more arrogant, and she continued to stimulate, but I am married to Mo Yesi, and he loves me and supports me, so what if you can't stand it? I can only rely on my face to make a living, so what if you are not convinced when you do my plastic surgery? Don't you think my face is good looking, and you want to make it look as good looking as me, and then rely on your face to make a living? Jiao Mian raised her chin, her eyes arrogant. Besides, even if I don't marry Mo Yesi, I'm still the daughter of the Bai family. I have parents who love me and a brother who loves me. It's still easy to get whatever I want. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 2802. Chapter 2802. She is really hateful. Are you envious of me? But it's useless for you to be envious. Anyway, you will never have such luck in this life. Even if you have a face that looks very similar to mine, it will be useless. People with different fates, even if you look exactly like me, you won't have such a good life as me. So I advise you to recognize the reality. Don't think that if you look like me, you can easily gain my current status if you continue to take advantage of my popularity. We are not of the same class, and you will never be like me. Xiao Mian, you. Xiao Angzhen's eyes widened with anger, and the veins on her forehead popped out. She pointed at Xiao Mian, her lips trembling with extreme anger. You're going too far. Do you really think you are so great? Aren't you afraid that I will post what you said on Weibo? So what if you are rich and powerful? Do you think everyone will be on your side? Bitch, bitch. Obviously, this was stepped on by her before and was allowed to be manipulated by her. But now, the is riding on her head, showing off her power in all kinds of ways. She is really hateful. Then Yu hair Xiao Mian looked completely indifferent, and reached out to straighten her hair slowly, showing her disdain and contempt for her without any concealment. Do you think it's just based on the gap between us? Do netizens believe your words more, or me? Also, if you are rich and powerful, you can do great things. Haven't you heard that 99% of the problems in this world can be solved with money, and the remaining things that cannot be solved can only be solved by money? Maybe not enough money has been spent. If you don't believe me, you can post what I just said on Weibo right now. I also want to see if more netizens support you or me. Xiao Mian said these words deliberately to stimulate Xiao Angzhen. Hence, he behaved very arrogantly and did not take Xiao Angzhen seriously. The more she showed her superiority in front of Xiao Angzhen, the easier it was for Xiao Angzhen to be angered. As soon as Xiao Mian finished speaking a few words, Xiao Angzhen was already livid with anger, her eyes were scarlet, and her whole body was shaking. But even if Xiao Angzhen was so angry that she was about to vomit blood, she could not do anything to Xiao Mian. She couldn't refute Xiao Mian's words. Because she knew that what Xiao Mian said was true. Given the current gap between her and Xiao Mian, even if she records Xiao Mian's words, she may not be able to do anything to Xiao Mian. As long as Xiao Mian says a word, the recording is fake. There are definitely more people who believe in her than people who believe in themselves. And even if she can get the real recording, whether it is people from the Mo family or the Bai family, they can completely make the recording fake. She can't do anything to Xiao Mian, now. Unless she can also have a very strong backer. For example, if she can take down Gong Zili, then she will have the capital to compete with Xiao Mian. I have nothing to say to you. Xiao Mian, don't be complacent. The world does not revolve around you. You'd better ensure that you will never be unlucky. Xiao Angzhen could not say that Xiao Mian, she couldn't do anything to Xiao Mian. She was also afraid that if she talked too much, some flaws would be exposed. It would be bad if Xiao Mian, a little bitch, guessed something. So after yelling angrily, he turned around and left angrily. Xiao Mian stood there and watched her leave, the smile on her face fading little by little. After the temptation just now, a certain guess popped up in her mind. Although I think it's a bit outrageous. But, if it's true. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 2803. Chapter 2803. You said, could Zhang Xinyu be Xiao Angzhen? The person Zhang Xinyu is more dangerous. She definitely didn't have any good intentions when approaching him. She couldn't be careless about this matter. Even if she guessed wrong, she had to find someone to find out. Don't be afraid of 10,000, just be afraid of what happens. Mama, mama. Xiao Mian stood there and thought in trance. It wasn't until a sweet little milky voice sounded in her ears that she came back to her senses and looked down at the little girl standing at her feet. Then he asked softly, "Are you sleepy, Meng Meng? Do you still want to sleep?" When the fire broke out at Jiao Angzhen's place, Jiao Mian had just put Meng Meng to sleep for a while. The little girl rubbed her eyes, with a look of sleepiness on her face, and nodded, saying in a grandma's voice, "I'm sleepy, I want to sleep." "Okay, then mommy will take you back to sleep." "Okay." Jiao Mian knelt down and reached out to hug Meng Meng. Asterisk. Go back to the room. After putting Meng Meng to sleep again, Jiao Mian took her mobile phone to the balcony and sent a WeChat message to Linda. "Jiao Mian, Sister Xia, did you think Zhang Xinyu had plastic surgery done after me? I took a closer look today and found that she has indeed undergone plastic surgery, and now I am very suspicious of her true identity. I think she may be someone we all know." Linda had worked with Jiao Angzhen for more than 2 years. As Jiao Angzhen's special agent, it can be said that Linda should also know Jiao Angzhen very well. So, Jiao Mian thought that if she talked about this matter with Linda, maybe Linda could help her analyze it carefully. Linda responded quickly. "Linda, yes, I knew from looking at her photos that she must have had plastic surgery, and it was definitely based on yours. But why are you suddenly telling me this? Also, you said she might be someone we all know. Who is it?" Jiao Mian hesitated for a while, then slowly typed 3 words, "Jiao Angzhen." This time, Linda didn't reply so quickly. Perhaps he was surprised. Jiao Mian waited for a while, and Linda called directly. "There is a video camera in the room. However, the location of the balcony is relatively far away from the camera. If you shoot, you can only capture her back, and you can't record her voice." So Jiao Mian answered the phone with confidence. "You said, Zhang Xinyu could be Jiao Angzhen." Linda's extremely surprised voice came over, full of consternation and disbelief. "Yeah, but I just have speculations about this now." Jiao Mian paused and told Linda all her suspicions. "Actually, when I first saw her, I felt that she had something. It feels very familiar. Her eyes and the aura on her body all feel very familiar to me. But the first time, I didn't think too much. When I saw her again later, I still felt very familiar, but I didn't know where that sense of familiarity came from. Until just now she stopped me and said she had something to talk to me. There were only 2 of us at that time, and I saw a particularly deep hatred in her eyes. No one except Jiao Angzhen and Shenro would hate me like that. You also know Shenro's current situation, so the only person left is Jiao Angzhen. I deliberately provoked her to test whether my guess was true. After she was irritated by me, the words she said in a fit of anger were very similar to the Jiao Angzhen she once was." End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 2804. Chapter 2804. Help me check a person. I know this guess is a bit ridiculous, but she really feels like Jiao Angzhen to me, but her voice is completely different from Jiao Angzhen, so I don't know if I'm thinking too much. Linda was silent for a while before speaking out. "Since you have speculations in this regard, whether they are true or false, they must be investigated clearly. If she is Jiao Angzhen, then she had plastic surgery to look like you and came here on purpose. It's too dangerous to participate in the same show as you. In case she has any harmful intentions, she is hiding it and you are keeping it open. You can't guard against it. Besides, the appearance can be changed through plastic surgery, and the voice can also be changed through related surgeries. So, even if her voice is different from Jiao Angzhen, it doesn't mean much. Sister Xia, don't you think I'm overthinking?" Jiao Mian was a little surprised that Linda didn't think she was imagining things. After all, she herself felt that her guess was a bit ridiculous. It is said that women's intuition is very accurate. I believe you will not doubt a person for no reason. Besides, you and Xiao Angzhen grew up together, and you must know her very well. Even if she changes her appearance and voice, if you are familiar with her, you will definitely be able to find something. Xiao Angzhen quit the entertainment industry after her reputation was ruined and she couldn't survive in the industry. But I always felt that she couldn't quit so willingly. If she wanted to return to the industry again, it would be very difficult for her to come back with a different appearance. Possible. Mian, the more I think about it, the more worried I feel. You must be careful. If she is Xiao Angzhen, your situation is really worrying. Now the top priority is to investigate her identity and background immediately. This matter I suggest you talk to Mr. Mo right away. If Mr. Mo goes to investigate, it will be found out very quickly. After a moment, Xiao Mian hung up the phone. Linda suggested that she tell Mo Yesi about this, but Xiao Mian thought about it and decided not to tell Mo Yesi yet, lest him worry about himself. But this matter should indeed be investigated as soon as possible. Xiao Mian herself was a little worried about whether there might be a venomous snake lurking around her. It can be said that Xiao Angzhen hated her to the core. When a person hates another person to the extreme, he or she can do any extreme thing. After thinking for a moment, Xiao Mian sent a WeChat message to Bai Yisheng. Xiao Mian, brother, I have something to ask you. Bai Yisheng guessed that she was looking at her mobile phone and replied to her instantly, little girl, have you finally remembered that you have a brother? Being so polite to your brother? Tell me what's going on. Xiao Mian, help me check someone out. Bai Yisheng, who do you want to check? Xiao Mian, a newcomer named Zhang Xinyu is on the show with me this time. Don't ask me why I want to check her. In short, you should check her carefully. I want her detailed information in the past few years. Bai Yisheng, why is it so mysterious, and you still don't want your brother to know the reason? But you can always tell me, is this important to you? Xiao Mian, well, it's very important. Bai Yisheng, okay, since it is my precious sister who has spoken to me, I will go check it out for you right away. Is it okay to give you her details within today? Xiao Mian, no problem. Brother, thank you, I know you are the best. I'll treat you to dinner when you get back. After Xiao Mian sent this WeChat message, she also sent a super cute emoticon. She was called my precious sister, and Xiao Mian also showed her brother a cute look at the right time. Although you don't need to give any benefits to your brother when you ask him to do things, it is still necessary to be cute and sweet. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 2805. Chapter 2805 Is this someone I know? Based on her experience getting along with Mo Yesi, straight men like them are very fond of acting like a coquettish person. As expected. Bai Yisheng was so cute by the emoticon she sent her that he also sent her a touch your head emoticon. He also told Xiao Mian that he was abroad now and asked Xiao Mian if there was any gift she wanted. He would bring it back to his country. Give her. Xiao Mian lacks nothing. I couldn't think of anything for a moment. She casually said that she wanted a baby. In the perception of straight men like them, girls all like to buy bags. Bai Yisheng, is it a bag? No problem, don't you want anything else besides bags? Think about a few more. Xiao Mian was amused by his domineering tone. She replied with a smile, I can have anything I want? Bai Yisheng's domineering president said, you can have all the stars in the sky, and I will find a way to pick them for you. This sentence completely made Xiao Mian laugh. Her tense nerves relaxed a lot. Although Mo Yesi already dotes on her very much. But at this time, she still felt that it was great to have a brother who pampered her. Having the love of my family makes me really, really happy. Ever since she was recognized by the Bai family, Bai's father and mother have been doting on their daughter like heaven. They will grant her whatever she asks for, and they will give her the best of everything without even asking her to ask. In front of. Moreover, he is the kind of person who is afraid that if he doesn't give enough, he won't be good enough, and he will let her down. Speaking of the deposits, real estate, and various company shares given by Bai Mu, Chiao Mian will never be able to use them up until the next life, and the next life. That's all. Bai's father and Bai's mother still feel ashamed and indebted to her. The couple really wanted to pick the stars from the sky and give them to their precious daughter. There is no need to say more about Bai Yusheng. She is a doting sister who is obedient and responsive to all requests. Chiao Mian suddenly remembered that Bai's mother called her some time ago. While mother and daughter were chatting, Bai's mother complained to her about Bai Yusheng's personal problems, saying that he was already 30 years old and there was still a woman beside him. No. For this reason, Bai Mu was extremely anxious. I am worried that my son may have a sexual orientation problem. Chiao Mian comforted her for a while, and assured her again and again that there was absolutely no problem with Bai Yusheng's orientation, so Bai's mother felt a little relieved. Chiao Mian thought about this and jokingly replied to Bai Yusheng, "Then I want a sister-in-law, is that okay?" She was just joking casually. Marriage is a major matter. How can it be solved immediately? But who knows? After a while, Bai Yusheng actually replied, "Okay. When I come back, I will bring you a sister-in-law." Chiao Mian's eyes widened and she thought she had seen it wrong. Chiao Mian, brother, are you serious? Bai Yusheng, really? Chiao Mian, bring me a sister-in-law. Bai Yusheng, yeah. Chiao Mian, is it someone I know? She remembered that at the banquet before, she saw Bai Yusheng and a woman who seemed to have a very unusual relationship. Is it that woman? If the sister-in-law Bai Yusheng was talking about was her, Chiao Mian thought it was pretty good. Although she doesn't understand the other person. But the first impression is very good. This time, Bai Yusheng did not reply to her immediately, but waited for almost 5 or 6 minutes before replying. Bai Yusheng, you don't know him. But she's a nice person, and I'm sure you'll like her. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 2806. Chapter 2806. There is only one Moyesi in the world. Someone she doesn't know? Then she was not the woman who seemed to have a close relationship with Bai Yusheng that night. Thinking of Bai Yusheng's flirting with that woman that night, Chiao Mian couldn't help but ask again, "Brother, do you like her?" Probably due to women's intuition. Chiao Mian always felt that if Bai Yusheng liked someone, it would definitely be the woman that night. This time, Bai Yusheng waited for a long time before replying to her. Bai Yusheng, it doesn't matter whether you like it or not, the most important thing is suitability. I have something else that I won't tell you. Let's get together with my brother and sister when I return to China. Mom and Dad haven't seen you for a while and miss you very much. You take your brother-in-law home to see them when you are free. Bai Yusheng did not answer Chiao Mian directly. But Chiao Mian already knew the answer. She suddenly felt a little pity for Bai Yusheng. She recalled in her mind the scene of Bai Yusheng and the woman standing together and talking that night. At this moment, she felt a lot. According to the conditions, Bai Yusheng's conditions are undoubtedly excellent. He is definitely a young talent in the eyes of others. He is a high-quality son-in-law candidate who many families want to marry their daughters to. He is also a high-quality man in the eyes of many women. There is no choice about family background, one's own external conditions, talents, or character. But even such a nearly perfect man can't get whatever he wants emotionally. Xiao Mian also realized from this incident how precious the relationship between two people who are in love and can finally come together is, very precious. And how lucky she is. There is only one Mo Yesi in the world. There will never be anyone who loves her more and dotes on her more than Mo Yesi. Asterisk. Later, the program team rearranged the recording content. At the beginning, a couple of male and female guests brought a child. The program team changed it so that each guest brings a child. The original 3-team PK has also become a single 6-person PK. There are not many changes. Except for the addition of a few new children, there are no other changes. Because the newly added children had to arrive at the recording site the next day, the filming of the program was postponed for one day. The evening time is free. Zanbo suggested going to KTV to sing. Let's find a place to sing and play after dinner, otherwise it will be too boring to go back too early. Brother Han, what do you think? Zanbo is someone who likes to have fun. Of course, he only likes to play with friends he is familiar with. Chin Han had nothing to do at night, so he nodded and said, I can do it, it's up to you. Mian, what about you? Zanbo turned his head and asked Xiao Mian for his opinion. I can do it too. Xiao Mian thought for a moment and said, Brother Han is inviting me to lunch at noon, so I'll treat you to the singing. You can treat Zanbo to dinner, is that okay? Okay, no problem. Zanbo patted his chest and said cheerfully, you can book the restaurant as you wish, and I'll cover the midnight snacks as well. So heroic. Then I have to choose carefully. Xiao Mian took out her mobile phone, searched for a while, raised her head and asked, do you want to invite others to come with you? Wouldn't it be good if just the three of us go? Although Xiao Mian only likes to play with people she knows well. But she also doesn't want others to say that they stick together and exclude others. Zanbo frowned, obviously reluctant. Call the others. We are not familiar with them, how can we have fun together? End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 2807. Chapter 2807 naturally enjoys any privileges. Mian is right, we should call the others. I guess they won't go, so it's okay to call. Chin Han said. Well, I'll ask them. Seeing that both Xiao Mian and Chin Han said this, Zanbo said nothing more. After all, the minority obeys the majority. Asterisk. As Chin Han said, Zanbo went to ask around, and everyone else said they had something to do in the evening and declined him politely. Including Zhang Xinyu. Originally Zanbo didn't want to ask her, but if he just missed it and she didn't ask, he would probably be accused of ostracizing and bullying newcomers. That afternoon, his agent called him. Zanbo learned that a marketing account had deliberately referred him to negative news about relying on seniority and fame to suppress and bully newcomers. The newcomer who was suppressed and bullied by him was Zhang Xinyu. Of course, these marketing accounts are not really righteous people. It's just taking money to do things. A rival company wanted to hack him, and bribed many marketing accounts to deliberately create a wave of negative news about him, hoping to suppress him. Fortunately, his economic company is not a vegetarian either. Public relations were immediately dispatched and money was spent to suppress the matter. Plus he has many fans. Rival companies can't compete with his side in terms of financial resources, and their fan appeal is not as good as his side. This wave of intentional smearing has ended in failure. But the agent emphasized it to him repeatedly. Even if he really doesn't like Zhang Xinyu, he can't make it too obvious. Lest someone catch him again and use it to blackmail him. When Zanbo asked, he was thinking that if Zhang Xinyu was shameless and wanted to join them, he would find an excuse to say that he had something to do and cancel the evening game. He would rather not go out to play. They didn't want to add Zhang Xinyu to their 3-person team, which would be very uncomfortable. Fine. Zhang Xinyu is not as thick-skinned as he thought. Asterisk. In the evening, a few people found a unique barbecue restaurant. After eating, they went to a high-end club called Lineage. Lanyeg is named very stylish and is the largest entertainment club in the area. Of course it is also the highest grade one. Generally, those who can go in and spend money are not ordinary people. Qiao Mian and others are naturally not ordinary people. Qiao Mian was booked under her own name. When she reported her name, the staff member who answered the phone waited for a while before asking in a slightly surprised tone, "Are you the Miss Qiao Mian who acted in If You Can't Love?" After receiving a positive reply from Qiao Mian, the other party said in a more enthusiastic manner, "Okay, Miss Qiao, we have reserved a box for you. We only have one VIP box left today. It was originally reserved for a few people all year round. The boss never orders from outside. If it's Miss Qiao, then there's no problem." Qiao Mian was stunned. "Are you my fan?" She thought the other person was her fan, so she gave her this special treatment. Unexpectedly, the other party smiled and said, "Miss Qiao, your husband, Mr. Mo, is one of the investors of Lineage. Don't you know, Miss Qiao? You are his wife, so you naturally enjoy any privileges." Qiao Mian looked confused. She really doesn't know. Well, she had always thought that Mo Yesi's properties were all in Yunchinj, and she never thought about the fact that he actually had many properties in other places. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 2808. Chapter 2808 How to Play Happily. Think about it now. Mo's industries are actually spread all over the country. It's just that she didn't understand it. If Mo Yesi is also one of the shareholders of Lineage, then if she goes to consume, wouldn't it be free? So she doesn't have to spend a penny for tonight's treat? Thinking about it this way, Qiao Mian was quite happy. As happy as if I got a free sum of money. After hanging up the phone, she said to Qin Han and Zhan Bo very proudly, "You will go sing later. Order whatever you like, but don't save money for me. You can play as you please. It's all free anyway." Zhan Bo let out a long tisk. "The president's wife is different, she is so heroic and cheerful. Don't worry, I will never be merciful to a super wealthy person like you. Even if you don't tell me, you won't be polite either." Qiao Mian glared at him. "It's not the first day I've known about your thick skin. Do you really think that what I just said was to you? I was actually talking to Brother Qin, okay? In your heart no points. Zanbo. I don't care anyway, and you say I'm thick-skinned, so I'm going to kill the local tyrants. Brother Han, are you right?" Qin Han watched the two of them bickering like children and couldn't help laughing. "If you want to kill Mian, I'm afraid you won't be able to kill them all at once. Do you know how rich her husband is?" "Of course I know. The president of the Mo Group has amazing wealth. There was a rich list before, and Mian's husband was ranked first on the list," Zhan Bo said with a smile, "so we can kill her more in the future. A few times, what we slaughtered is not even a drop in the bucket to her." After he finished speaking, he chatted with Qiao Mian again. "Do you think so, Madam President?" Yes, Qiao Mian was amused by him. "Okay, we have reserved a private room, let's go there now." Asterisk. Lineage. The front desk answered Qiao Mian's call, and just after hanging up, he saw the lobby manager following suit, respectfully following behind someone. The man was dressed in black clothes and black trousers, with deep facial features and an unusually handsome appearance. Especially those pair of long, narrow, and somewhat evil dark phoenix eyes, which leave a deep impression on people at the first glance. At the same time, that look also made people feel a little scared. Because those eyes are very beautiful. but his eyes were extremely cold. The man's eyes seemed to be filled with ice, and when he looked at him, his eyes were filled with a cold air. So much so that his handsome facial features were covered with a coldness. While that face was attractive, it would also make people turn away. It wasn't just the lobby manager who was following him. There were several tall and strong men, also wearing black pants, following behind him. Everyone has a look of respect on their faces. It is enough to see that the status of the man in black must be very unusual. When the man in black passed by the front desk, the front desk employee saw the general manager of the club running out in a hurry. When he came to the man, he also called out respectfully, "Mr. Gong." The man only responded coldly, then strode into the elevator with long legs. He entered the elevator that was reserved for several shareholders of the club. Then, the elevator door slowly closed. "Mr. Gong?" The front desk staff was stunned for a few seconds before they realized that the young Gong who made everyone respect him could be Gong Zili, the crown prince of the Gong family, one of the shareholders. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 2809. Chapter 2809. Why did it come suddenly? Lineage has a total of 3 bosses. The prince of the Gong family, the young master of the Yan family, and the other one is Mo Yesi, the current president of the Mo family. At one time, the relationship between these 3 people was the best. So the 3 of them opened a lot of stores together as a joint venture. Lineage is one of them. These people have their properties all over the country. But this is the first time that the front desk employee has met one of the 3 bosses. Because although the store is opened by a 3-person joint venture, as the owners, they have never been here. Such a small shop is nothing compared to their industries that can easily earn hundreds of millions, billions, or even tens of billions. So it is normal that they have never been here. That's why the front desk staff was surprised by the appearance of Gong Zili. The front desk employee was stunned for a while, then suddenly remembered something, his expression changed, and he immediately made a phone call. Asterisk. The general manager of the club cautiously followed Miyazawa away, so nervous that he did not dare to take a breath. He didn't know what kind of wind was blowing today. They even brought the giant Buddha Gong Zili here. You know, this is Gong Zili's first time here. Moreover, he came in silence, without even saying hello in advance. This made the general manager of the club even more uneasy, fearing that the sudden appearance of the giant Buddha was coming to ask questions. Otherwise, haven't shown up once in several years. Why did it come suddenly? Thinking of this, the general manager of the club felt a layer of sweat on his forehead due to fear, but he did not dare to reach out to wipe it. Looking at Gong Zili's expressionless and indifferent face, and the cold aura of keep away from strangers emanating from his whole body, he suddenly felt that the air in the elevator was slowly becoming thinner, and he felt like he could hardly breathe. The feeling of suffocation coming up. A minute later, the elevator stopped. The elevator door opened and Gong Zili strode out. The lobby manager who was standing next to the general manager of the club looked away from his mobile phone and looked a little unhappy. He hesitated for a moment, and when the general manager of the club was about to step out of the elevator, he immediately followed him and whispered in his ear. "Mr. Lin, I have something to report to you. I just received news from the front desk that the Supreme VIP private room has been reserved." "What did you say?" The face of the man named Mr. Lin suddenly changed, and he couldn't control his voice. Outside the elevator, Gong Zili paused, turned around, and frowned. With this frown, the lobby manager and Mr. Lin were so frightened that another layer of cold sweat broke out on their foreheads. Especially Mr. Lin, not only was he broke out in a cold sweat, but his face turned pale with fright. Supreme VIP rooms are only available to a few shareholders. For so many years, even if it has been vacant, no one would dare to book a private room. And now, someone actually dared to violate the rules of the club and booked a private room. If Gongzili knew about this. "What are you yelling about?" Miyazawa left his mouth, his words clearly showing some impatience. Mr. Lin broke out in a cold sweat again. How dare he speak the truth? Just as he was thinking about telling a lie, he asked the front desk to cancel the reservation, and then heard the lobby manager say in fear, "Mr. Gong, the VIP box has been empty in the past few years, and the front desk doesn't know you are there. I'm coming today, so I've reserved a private room." End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 2810. Chapter 2810 is at least 5 points true. But because the person who made the reservation was Mr. Mo's wife, the front desk made an exception. Mr. Lin was angry and anxious when he heard that the lobby manager actually told Gongzili about this matter. He was about to reprimand him, but after hearing the second half of the sentence, he immediately closed his mouth with relief. If she is the wife of a shareholder, she does enjoy the same rights as the shareholder. The front desk made the decision to book the exclusive VIP private room without authorization, which is not considered a violation. Although Mr. Lin breathed a sigh of relief, he suddenly thought of the feud between Gongzili and Mo Yesi again, and suddenly, he felt relieved again. But the person who is inseparable from Miyazawa is Mo Yesi. Before, I vaguely saw several scandals between Gongzili and Mo Yesi's wife. Said that the relationship between the two is ambiguous or something. So, he should have no objection to Mo Yesi's wife. Although, rumors may not be true, and they may be fabricated rumors, but there is a saying that there is no smoke without fire. Mr. Lin thought this and felt a little more at ease. Yes, young Master Gong. Mr. Lin secretly glanced at Gongzili and saw that his face was not too ugly. He stepped forward to clarify his responsibilities and said respectfully, "It's because the person who booked the private room is MRSMO, so we booked the private room. If I had known that you would be coming, Mr. Palace, the private room would have been reserved for you. But if the young master wants to use that private room, we can call MRSMO now and tell her that the private room has been booked. Although MRSMO is also someone they can't afford to offend. But compared to the person in front of me, it's better to choose to offend the former. If you offend the former, you can still save your life. If you offend the latter, you may die." Gongzili said nothing, but a strange color flashed in his narrow phoenix eyes. "Will Chiao Mian be here tonight too? Then he can save himself the excuse of going to see her." He jumped for joy in his heart, and his mood improved significantly. The cold and indifferent expression on his handsome face, which was originally covered with a layer of frost, became softer, and something seemed to be melting in those narrow and cold phoenix eyes. Open. The cold aura on his body that had been repelling people thousands of miles away was also warming up little by little, making people feel that he was no longer so inaccessible. Mr. Lin felt the instantaneous change in Gongzili, and a thought flashed through his mind. It seems that the rumors are not entirely false. He looked at it, and it was at least 5 points true. There is indeed a bit of ambiguity between this young lady and MRSMO. The person who was as cold as ice a second ago, changed his face too obviously after hearing that Chiao Mian was coming. The joy in his eyes was not concealed at all. So open and forthright. Anyone can detect something from it. So it seems. Another previous rumor is also true. Mo Yesi and Gongzili have been brothers for many years, but they broke up. Maybe it was because Gongzili coveted his wife. If it is true that MRSMO is really a disaster. The two most distinguished men in Yunchinj both fell under her pomegranate skirt. Since it was Miss Chiao who made the reservation, let her use the private room. Just arrange another one. After a moment of silence, Gongzili stopped the emotion in his eyes and seemed to have returned to his previous indifference, his voice indifferent. Road. End of this chapter.